And, I'm a teacher at West Caldwell High School, and I just wanted to bring this up. I do this with students when we're getting ready to look at economics and taxes, and a fellow by the name of Joe Brantolino gave this to me. He came and spoke to my classes 2 or 3 years ago. He works for the IRS Hickory office, and he turned us on to this, and for the past 2 to 3 years I've been using this an awful lot. It's so big I've never used it all. I just picked probably about 4 things. We start off just kind of introducing taxes, and we've already by this time taken a look at the 16th Amendment, and we've looked at some other tax related topics. And then we try to get into computer lab if we can to use this. It's much better if you can get every student on a computer, but we have used it in the classroom just with smart room technology, and we have just kind of looked at it as a group, and then I'll provide copies of a W-4 to them. If we're able to get into the lab, then they're able to actually complete the W-4 online and print it out, and you know, it's a little bit more hands-on technology that way. But I think it'll work with about every class that you teach. We could use it in World, we could use it in Civics, I think you could use it in US. I think we have a couple of elective classes in West Caldwell, Finance, and a couple others where I think you could use it in that class very well. I think it would work very good in an elective class. You were dealing with seniors maybe, but perhaps they already have a job, and or it's better if they haven't really, I mean, before they've completed a W-4. But the only other 2 things that I do with this program currently, we complete a 1040 EZ with it online and print it out. Because I think that's probably the 1 to 3 years, 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. And then we go to a 1040A when life gets a little more complicated and they can still do it on their own. And then I just kind of tell them, hey, I'm way past doing it on my own. I just have to go pay somebody to do it because there's so many forms to do. And you know, we'll talk about things like that and kind of expand. But if you go to Google Docs, you can type in understanding taxes, completing a W-4, and it should bring it up. If not, you can simply go to Understanding Taxes for Students, and it'll bring up a neat little website that you can use. I went ahead and just kind of threw a link on it just to give you guys a look at it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Yeah, we could play around with it and go here and there, but the main thing I just started out doing let's see. Okay, if you go to the main, the instructions will make a little bit more sense. I'll always do the tutorials first, and the instructions will tell you where to click on the tutorial that'll kind of explain a W-4. It takes you through about 9 pages on that one, and they're quick. They're not long pages. It doesn't take them long to navigate them. There's some blue font there that they'll click on. Like if you click on a W-4, it'll give you a quick little picture of one. And then I'll just back out and I'll do a simulation. The simulations are pretty cool. They will, the one for this one is a guy named Lawrence Redout, and it just kind of takes you through completing the W-4. It's got some quick little quizzes that don't take long to do, and it just kind of helps the students as they work through this. And then you can close that window. Let me see if we can. And then we can go to the activities. A little bit out of order, I think. Let's see if I can scroll down. You'll see there's a ton of them. And you can just kind of navigate through this however you want. and you want to go to lesson 2, and this is where they kind of get into a W-4. There's an actual W-4 online. They can go on it, they can type it out, they can fill in information, and they can print it out from there. So it's a pretty cool little hands-on thing. Did not make copies of the instructions. They're on here. I'm really just kind of working off of that. The instructions have what I do with it. I tell them, we go down line by line. I'll tell them what to put on line 2, line 3, line 4. Just tell them whether or not you know your Social Security number or not. Don't put it on here right now. If you do know it, great. If you don't, it's probably time to learn it. You're only going to have to use that number a couple million times in your life. And I do suggest just some kind of personal experience things. Some of you may have gotten caught. I guess it was probably back in about '86 maybe when tax laws really changed drastically for, not so much since then, but back then it was pretty big. And I got caught having to pay some state taxes because they reduced the tax rate, and I was not aware of it. So I told them ever since then, I actually have them take out some additional amounts. I'll show them what line to put that on and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something that's kind of interactive with the kids, think it's something that they'll be using throughout their life. Some of them is kind of fun, especially if you get an older group, a senior class, and hey, how many of you guys already have a job because the nature of that's already changed? How many of you actually work somewhere where they're taking out taxes and things? How many of you have completed a W-4? And the common question is, why the heck would we fill out a W-4 before we get W-2s? Yeah, that's a great question. Just an example of our federal government being real efficient. So, but that right there might help you. There are so many things on that I don't do, but they're there if I ever choose. Hey, look, I haven't ever done that before. Let me take a look at that and see if it's kind of fun. So it's just something for you to go to. I got it from a local IRS guy here, who, by the way, wanted me to tell you guys that they are our friends, not our enemies. So thank you very much.